So that's what I'll do. I'll clone this CentOS 7. I'll call it test, just, you know, a bit different name. I'll do a link clone, and I'll change the MAC address of my the usual thing what I'm doing, right? So that's the test. I'll move it out of the box here. And what I'll do basically, I will create two interfaces on this. One interface will be a bridge adapter, so that will be my one, right? This will be my LAN, my WAN, my wide area network. And on the adapter 2, which I'm going to activate, I actually will use the host only adapter. So I'm going to use the host only adapter because I will cheat a little bit here. With the host only adapter presented, you know, I need to have internet. If I want to have internet, I need to do the firewall functions inside. So the firewall's supposed to be properly done inside. Something which we're gonna do first, and afterwards, what I need, I will be able actually to access the internal interface from my real computer without doing anything. You know, it's a little bit of cheating once again, but it's easy when I need to do some additional stuff there, which basically will help me to show something. So I'm going to use the host only adapter. For now, I'm going to choose adapter 4. Let's go and check what is on adapter 4 actually. When I go to the host network manager, adapter 4, it is 150 the address. Actually, I could create a new adapter. I will create a simple new adapter, and this one adapter I will give an IP address of 192.161. This one I'm gonna give here 0, and I'm gonna use 254, right? Because we need this to be the adapter of the virtual box, so this address will be taken. And I don't want one to be taken. I would like one to be on my network interface, so that's why I'm gonna choose here 254. So 192.168.0.254. That would be my network. I'll say apply. Just be sure the IP version 4 network is 24-bit, and here you have the enable server DHCP not enabled actually. I'm going to say apply. I'll confirm, and I'm going to have that would be my actually my very first adapter, and I'm going to choose this one now. I'm going to come back here and I'll choose this one, the one without any digits there, without anything. So this one. Okay, and I know that I have already a network which I could use. So I'm going to start this guy. So while we're waiting, actually there is it has been designed very heavily, and afterwards they stopped it, but indeed they created it very nice, and you could still use it. So you could click on one of the buttons when you install it. So basically what you need to do here is to click create new firewall, and then you need to call it. I'm going to call it test, right? I want to test it. And then I'm going to say choose the firewall software. It is running. And I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go and find out. You see there are many of these. That's the HP ProCurve ACL or access control list. You have something which is unknown. Packet filters, which is the default firewall on the Unix operating systems. Here's the IP table, something we're going to work with, and some others. Okay, you have 3 of the Cisco actually, and even Cisco ASA you have here. And basically, if you would like to use a router as an ACL firewall, that's what you could do here. And basically, we're going to choose iptables in that case. So we're going to choose the kernel of Linux wherever it's presented to us. And as you see, you could even go further. You could choose the IP cup, something which we've been talking before. OpenVert, which is another one which I never mentioned it. And you have other based on this one, and some others. Well, because that's a Linux instance which I'm going to use, so we'll use the kernel which is there. And you see it's an old kernel because basically, as I mentioned to you, this project has been postponed. It's not anymore there. And I'm going to click here to use the pre-configured firewall templates. Okay? And I'm going to use the standard template objects, which are already predefined for me there. Okay? And then I'm going to just click next. And here it is. It's actually showing me explanation what it is. The first one, the firewall template one, and it says interface ETH0. It's the outside, and interface ETH1 is the inside. So that's what I have at the moment, right? That's what I'm hearing. So let's start this machine. Let's start this machine and let's see what we could do about it. The first thing what I need to do is to, I'm gonna go and check my interfaces. You see, there are two interfaces and you see one is off. As well as see the name of the interface. They're EMP0S3, EMP0S8. They're not ETH0 and ETH1. So I need to consider this, as well as the IP address is different, right? So this one will be outside and it will be dynamic. That's good. That will be my bridge adapter which I've chosen, if you remember. And this one will be my interface inside. And because I'm using the adapter, the specific adapter, remember, which we use here. Here's the networking again. The network, when I go to it, you see I use bridge adapter for my one, and that will be EMP0S3 adapter. And for this one, I'm using the host-only adapter. And we said with this host-only adapter, I will be able, without anything, to transfer stuff from my real computer to my virtual machine. So basically, whatever I'm going to create as infrastructure here, as a template here, will be transferred without any problems within the firewall. Okay, within this machine, the LAN of this machine. So the first thing, once again, we need to do is to activate this one, just to be sure it is activated. So I'll click on this, and I'll go and I'll say wired settings. Okay, well, the best choice to do it is from the command line, but for sure it's the easiest one with you guys to do it on this. I'm gonna say on. I'm gonna click on the set button here, and I need to be sure it's connect automatically and make available for any user. The other thing what I need to say here will be the I will choose the automatic for now. Okay, and I'm gonna check the other one here the same way. I'm gonna say it's automatic. That's fine. And again, you see that it says the name EMPS0S03, and I need to be sure it is automatically started when here it is. Connect automatically and make available is for all the users is done here. Let me just check this one again for the name, but as you see, the name is written here actually. The second one is EMP0S3. So once again, we need to change these guys here. Okay, so it is done. Now let's go and check the prerequisites for the for our firewall. So because we're going to install the IP tables, and we know that by default CentOS 7 has the firewall D as a part of the system D activated. Well, we need to check. Excuse me. We need to check if the firewall D is active, and if it's active, we need to remove it. Okay. Now all of the things which are related with the firewall are done as a super user. So the first thing actually what I'm going to do is me to log in as a root. Here it is. I'm logging as a root, and I'm going to do everything from now on with the using this interface. So I'm going to say here, we'll say here systemctl. I'm going to check the status. I'm going to say status, and I'm going to check a couple of statuses here actually. I will open the curly brace because I would like to put a couple of things inside. So I'm going to say here firewall D. I'm going to check for IP tables, and I'm going to check for something which is called basically I'll just click enter, and it says the IP that the IP tables could not be found, and the firewall D actually could not be found as well, which means I just even removed it. Okay, it has been stopped completely. So basically there is no firewalling at all, so there is no problem with to install the firewall, the IP tables, right? So we to put the IP tables here, it is no problem at all. So what we could do next will be sudo yum install -y iptables. But it's already installed, so we need to activate it, and you know how to do this. We need to say systemctl, and we're gonna say enable -- now. That's enable and starts also, and we're gonna say iptables. Well, it says it won't be there, so we need to find out why. Even though it says it is installed, iptables it is installed, it doesn't start it. Let's see why it doesn't click. We didn't do it properly, so we need to install the iptables.-services. So basically now, once it's installed, I could go and I could do whatever I tried to do with the enable before, and now it will work because it is installed now. Okay, so that was the thing which we supposed to do first. So we install the iptables. Now the first thing, if you remember, when you get this, is actually you need to create a simple script. Script. Well, actually, what you could do to check your iptables is to use the command iptables-vnil, as I said, right? -vnl. So when you do iptables and you do -vn and capital L, it will show it to you the default configuration of the iptables. Well, basically, it comes pre-installed with some things here, because actually you would like to be able to access the internet, right? So whenever I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna clean up. As soon as I reboot the computer, it will be lost. It won't be there anymore. You know, you're supposed to do something so to save it. I'm not gonna do this, and that's why once I change the iptables thing, you know, I will be able, actually, after the reboot, it will be restored. Okay, so if I do something I cannot actually restore it, the easiest way is just to reboot the computer. Okay, so basically what I need to do, I need to create a simple script, and let's do it. When you're creating, guys, a script, it's a simple sh file. You could skip actually .sh, but it's good practice to use .sh because it shows you that is a kind of an executor. Once again, I'll create it here because I'm there at the moment, and I'm gonna do most of the things as a root. So when you are in your browser, in your command line interface, and when you do the command which bash, sorry. Actually, it will show you where exactly you could find out this one. Okay, so that's what we do here, and it is in the bin bash. Okay, and afterwards, in my case, because I'm the root, actually that's the difference. So if I do like this, and if I do again which bash, it is in bin bash, right? If I was creating as this user I was creating, I would have used this one. But since I'm root at the moment, I will use this one, which is bin bash. You see, when you do it as a different user, obviously it is kind of different, especially when you're a root. Okay. So what I'll do next, when I do this, I'm saying simply how this whatever is below, how to be accessed. That's the simple thing. And afterwards, I will do a couple of things inside. Let me see if I'm able actually to copy. So basically, what I'm doing with these three things, it says here, when you see this hash, that means it is a command. It won't be executed. That's not a command. Okay. So what it says here is the set default policy. And you know, by default, if you remember, it's in your lectures there. The default policy is accept. So meaning, when you have your firewall, you have a lot of rules there. Okay, these rules will consist of all of the chains and the things inside. We're gonna speak after this. You know, the table, and within the table you have the command, the chain, the matches, the target, and so on and so forth. So when you create this one row, of command, and at certain point you're gonna have many, right? Remember when I come here, and if even though before starting this, if I do iptables and I say dash VNL, when I say this, you remember I just installed it and it already has the rules, and you see the rules there exactly what you see on this table, right? What you see on that table here, okay, which is shown inside, right? You have the table, the default table. We set the filter, so basically this will be. It says here that the chain is input. Okay, so you have input, output, forward, pre-routing, and so on and so forth. So for the default filter table, actually, when you don't write it down indeed, basically the chain you could have input, output, forward, and so on and so forth. So basically you have the input here, and you have afterwards the forward one, and you have the output. These are the three ones which are accessible here. And actually I'm showing with this command only this chain. I'm showing only this table. I'm showing only the filter table. Also notice here that it says the policy, and it says what is the policy by default. You see it is accept. So any packet which is coming actually will be accepted if it's passing these rules. So it will check first the first rule. If there is no match, that's why it's called match here, right? So if there is no match, it will go and will check the next one, and so on and so forth until it gets to the end. So the first rule, which is on the top, will take precedence. If the first rule take precedence, none of the other rules actually will be checked anymore. Now, if the first rule, there is no match on it, it will check the second rule. If this one matches, it won't check anything to the bottom, okay? And if it's actually hit the bottom and there is no match, so none of the rules actually does whatever the packets try to do. Basically, it will apply the default policy. It will accept the packet in that case. Okay? Well, it's something which I don't want. Okay? I want my default policy actually to be denied, and me afterwards to start start allowing who has privileges to do something, or which packet could come and which packet no. But by default, I don't want anything to goes in, to goes out. I would like my operating system and my firewall completely locked, and then slowly one by one to unlock it. That's one of the ways you do it. The other one, obviously, is the default policy. As you see, it is accept for all of these guys. Okay, so when you do this, you see right away the default chain, and that's once again because I haven't put anything here. This is for the filter table. If I use the NAT, here, if I use the NAT, when I'm using the type of the table, so in that case I'm using the NAT. You see the next one. Well, now it shows me the content of the NAT table. So I have many tables already pre-installed. That's the pre-installed state. Okay, I showed you first the filter table. If you remember, when I do it without -t and without anything after, so when I do it like this, well, actually what I want to say in that case is -t, and I need to say here filter, right? So when I say like this, it's like doing without anything. It is the default one. Okay, it is the same as you see. Okay, that's the same. When I would like, so that's the way you do the default one. You don't need to put anything there. But if you want to be in in place, you need to do the -t, so to say which table it is. Now the mango table is a little bit interesting. The mango table is if you would like, when the packet traverse, which is means going through the firewall, if you would like to change the packet in a way, so then you're going to use the mango table in a way. So we're not going to do it here, but I just would like to say that if you do mango and you do like this, again you see the default policy for the mango table in that case, and again you see the default chains here, right? So you see right away which chains are available for this one. So you see that for the mango, you have the pre-routing, you have input, you have forward, you have output, you have post-routing, right? If you check for the NAT, which we did before, here it is. So when you do for the NAT, as you see, you have again pre-routing, you have input, you have output, and you have post-routing. So these chains, which are described here, these chains for any table, they are different, okay? And you cannot have more, well, you could create personal one, you could create your own if you want here as well. But that's something we're not gonna do, obviously. And the row table, indeed, is what it says, it's completely raw. We are not gonna even touch this one. But let me just demonstrate. Again, if you would like to see the default thing here, you have the pre-routing and the output. That's what it is coming here. So not all the chains actually comes with everyone. So the most full one is the Mango table, right? The Mango table has them all. And as you see, there are user defined, something you could guys define by yourself and then could use. Any question up to now? If you want the NAT configured, obviously you need to be having the outbound NAT configured here. And when you check it, well, when you click on this one and check it, you're gonna see all the chains which are applying to it. There are 4 of them, as you see, and you're gonna see their states, as well as you're gonna see the default policy. That's very important. Once again, because when you do something, it starts from the top. It doesn't, if it matches something, so here it is again. Start from the top of the rules. If it matches the first rule, it doesn't go down. If it doesn't match, it go and check the next one. If it matches it, okay, stays there, and it do it. It applies it wherever it is. If not, it goes down, and so on and so forth until it hits to the end. Okay, when it hits to the end and still there is no match, basically it applies the default policy, which in that case is accept. That's supposed to be, guys, a DNS server, wherever it is into your DMZ, you're accessing it through this one. So the NAT table with the outbound NAT, which is giving you the internet access, and one-to-one, and the port forwarding NAT, which eventually helps you out to forward, so to give us a small, limited access to some of the, if you would have a DMZ, a demilitarized zone network, you could give access from parties from outside, from the internet, to access your resources as well inside, like, once again, web servers, mail servers, DNS servers, application servers, things like that. Okay, so these ones are the most important. Mango is, once again, if you would like to change packets which are traversing, which are passing by through the interface of the firewall. That's something we're not going to do, and the row, again, we're not going to do. And the chains, once again, they're strictly define what you're going to use, and I showed it to you how to find it out. Okay, the standard way how to find out which are the chains into any table. And you have one which is kind of exception, which you could define yourself. We're not going to do this one. So we're creating a script, we're creating here a script, and in this script, guys, what we will do, we're gonna set the default policy for IP tables for the input. That's everything what we do here, obviously, is for the for the filter table. Okay, what we're gonna do here is to drop everything, so the default policy will be dropping everything. Okay, afterwards, as you see, actually here we're using the -P capital. That's for the, when we do the policy, that's what it stands for. So it will be for input, for output, and for forward chain, it will be drop. So we're changing from accept to drop. Then we're gonna flush all the rules. So anything what we see as rules here, like these ones, everything will be flushed, will be removed. Okay, that's what we do here. And afterwards, actually, we will delete the user-defined chains if there are such. We said there will be no, but we would like to be sure, and that will be the one which we're gonna do. So that's important, guys, you to execute this script. And I will show it to you after this, a way how you guys to automatize this. So if you would like every time when you start, to start with already predefined rules, so you're going to create new rules, so you're going to create a new script actually. So if you would like every time this to start, there will be something which will make this automatic. So the next time you reboot, it will stay with the IP tables. Otherwise, we said when you reboot, everything will be lost. Okay. So now my script is done. What I need to do is actually to click escape here and to say WQ and to save it, right? And the next thing what I need to do actually to make this script executable. When you create a script by default it is not executable. You cannot execute it. So if I do something like this now, and iptables .sh, you see, well, you know, if you're gonna use non-elevated account, well, obviously you need to say sudo, right? So afterwards, what you do, you say +x, okay, and then you put the name of the file which you would like to make executable, which will be iptables, okay. So you see here once again, that's how our before this applying, how our rules, how our you know, the okay. So when I do this, and when I do the previous command again, now you're gonna see I have 2 x's here, 3 x's actually, which means now it is executable. So if I repeat the other command, which was this one, now the script is done. And how I could prove this right away, when you go and when I check, actually when I check it here, well, you see none of my rules is existing anymore, okay. And here actually before this I was able to ping Google. If I try to ping Google now, you see I'm not able to do anything because I actually closed everything. If I check my NAT, if I check my NAT here, you see there is no NAT anymore as well. Nothing has been stopped as well. So everything now is closed. So my rules has been made 0. I mean, there is no rules anymore there. And it applies the default policy. And let's check the default policy here. Oops, sorry. And as you see, guys, the default policy now is dropped. So everything is dropped. Everything what is trying to come inside, everything what's trying to go outside is actually dropped. Okay? Any questions, please?